Welcome to Evolution of Self with me, Britannia.
Hello. So what I want to speak about this week is about our energy. A lot of people who are into spirituality talk about, but I don't think quite the same way that a lot of people do. And it's something that I never really thought I'd most likely share on here. But recently I've been sharing it with a number of people who, things have come up in conversation and they found it very helpful. So I kind of thought, well, maybe more people are interested. So here I am sharing it with you. And it's all about protection. So my belief, and I'm not saying absolutely 100% right or anything like that, is that everything is energy. And that can be proved scientifically when you look at our cells and the subatomic particles and things under an electron microscope. And it's not just us physically that are energy, but everything, even the rocks and things that seem inanimate, are energy. Now, in the spiritual world, when you come across somebody who, I suppose, as they would view, is giving off negative energy. And you know these people. I mean, we all experience people like this. It's when you've had a conversation with them, you suddenly feel drained and exhausted, or they're really upset and their emotions tend to make you feel then upset, and all sorts of things like that. Basically, anyone who makes you feel uncomfortable and less than happy or joyful or whatever it is. And it doesn't just have to be people, it can be situations or places that you visit or any experience you have. Now, the general spiritual way of dealing with these things is to put up a bubble of light around yourself as protection between you and that you're experiencing. Now, my experience is that any time you put up protection, it causes a barrier, a resistance to that is in the world around you. And in my experience, any kind of resistance causes a lack of flow of energy. And to me, the ultimate goal is to be in flow, in sync, at one with life. And when I'm talking about energy, for me, I call it source, the universe, or whatever else. You might call it God. And you don't have to be spiritual to experience these things. And you don't have to be spiritual to be able to apply what I'm going to share with you either. But I suppose what I really want to say is that in situations that unsettle us in any way, shape or form, we either intentionally or maybe subconsciously can form a resistance to what is going on. And that resistance stops the flow of source, God, whatever it is that you want to call it. It takes us out of alignment from where we might want to sit in life. And it can cause disruption, disharmony, and dis-ease and uneasiness within ourselves. So it's not necessarily the person that we're experiencing, that we're seeing, or the event that we're seeing, or whatever it is that's going on around us that's causing us that discomfort. It's actually our resistance to whatever is going on, and because of the resistance, our getting out of alignment with all that is. It's our judgment, our making it wrong, our making ourselves right, our defensiveness, our anger, our upset, our hurt, whatever it is that causes us to experience ourselves as not good and ourselves as good. And also experiencing ourselves as vulnerable and the need to protect ourselves. So instead of resisting what's going on or consciously following spiritual practice and putting up a bubble of light or putting up some kind of form of protection around yourself, what I do is I try to connect myself even more strongly and consciously to all that is. I imagine myself connecting above to light and love, and I imagine myself connecting below to the earth and to all that is in the earth that is good and beautiful and bountiful and wonderful. And I imagine that energy, that pure love energy, filling me up. And I don't try to send it out or heal it, I just allow it to fill me up. And then I sit with whatever is coming up. I don't resist it, I just allow it to be. Whatever is going on around me, whatever it's triggering inside of me, I just allow it to be, and I breathe. And I'm a Ho'oponopono practitioner. It's something that I found very useful over the years. So personally, I then say the Ho'oponopono phrases, which is, I love you. And we say this to all that is. So we say it to Source, to the universe, to God, whatever it is you want to call it. I love you. Please forgive me. And what we're asking for forgiveness of is that forgiveness of our wrong thinking. Forgiveness for thinking that whatever we're experiencing is wrong, uncomfortable, is some way bad, and that maybe it can hurt us, and for being in resistance to it, for the thoughts that it brings up inside of us, for our wrong thinking. So I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for that wrong thinking, for that resistance, for that making it wrong. And then finally, thank you. Thank you to all that is for helping me let go of my resistance, my wrong thinking, whatever else is going on inside of you. Because whatever you experience inside of you is normally your stuff. It's the stuff that you already hold inside of you. For instance, I have an irrational fear of arguments and anger. It's maybe not irrational, I kind of know where it comes from. And there are many people that feel the same as me, but other people quite like it. They kind of get inspired and kind of excited when they see an argument or friction of some sort. Personally, that doesn't happen to me. But it's not because of whatever is going on in my environment that I'm actually feeling the feelings I'm feeling. It's from stuff that happened in the past. So it's not those people, it's not them that are causing me to feel this way. They are just triggering a memory of an emotion that I felt years and years ago. It's my stuff. So by connecting above and below and allowing light to fill me and acknowledging what's going on inside of me, the emotions that are getting triggered, what I'm experiencing inside of me, not resisting it, breathing into it and doing the Ho'oponopono on it, I allow it to pass and release. So instead of holding on to something that I've held onto my whole life, suppressing it and locking it in me for further triggers and experiencing it over and over again through the years, I rather choose to be present and to allow it to pass. Now, what I've just shared with you, I've also found to work in amazing situations. I was in a meeting recently and there was a lady in the meeting and she was very resistant to what we were doing in the meeting. She was being very negative, sort of criticising everything we were doing, finding everything wrong with it, and basically making things very difficult. She also sat and her hair was, I can't do it properly because my hair is quite short. She had very thick hair and you could barely even see her face or her eyes because her hair was she was hiding behind her hair. And I felt her triggering me. I felt myself resisting her negativity and her resistance to everything. And I did exactly what I've just shared with you. I connected above, below, I opened my heart. I sat in that light and that love. I didn't try to change her or address anything to do with her. I just simply allowed what I was experiencing to bubble up and allowed myself to breathe through it, saying Ho'oponopono and let it go. And as I let it go, it was really interesting because not long afterwards, only a couple of minutes, I suddenly noticed that she'd sat up. She'd brushed the hair out of her face. She was suddenly interacting with everyone and being much more open. I don't know if that's because of what I was doing. I can't tell you that for sure, but I've experienced this a number of times. But the intention is never to change that person. The intention only is to clear what is going on inside of me, to let it go as my wrong thinking. Anyway, that's what's been coming to me, and I hope maybe you find it useful in your life. Go off and experiment and have fun with it and see. And please let me know if you have any amazing stories, if you have anything that really happens that's quite phenomenal. I'd really love to hear from you. And even if it's not that phenomenal, even if it's just something small, I'd still really love to hear from you. As usual, my contacts are all in the show notes below, to my website and my coaching and to my social media and to my online courses and to the monthly Ho'oponopono sessions. Have a stunning week. So much love from me to you. Bye-bye.